Hey everybody, today I'm here to talk about Twilight's Last Gleaming. Yeah, you can't really see it, by John Michael Greer. This is a book that came out within the year, and I read it shortly after it came out. I've been thinking about it a lot lately, so I decided I would talk about it. If you don't know who John Michael Greer is, he's an interesting fellow to get acquainted with. He's written quite a few books, a lot about basically peak oil and sustainability, and quite a bit about being a druid, which I think he's like the Pope of Druidry in America or something. He's got some position where he's a very well-respected druid of some sort. But he's got several books. After Progress, Green Wizardry, which is a good one, and then I think A Star's Reach, I think is the name of it, but it's a novel set a couple hundred years from now after peak oil, which that one's really cool, and I should talk about it in a different one. I haven't read any of his things about Druidry, but I've noticed that a lot of his fiction and non-fiction is steeped in, there's a lot of undertones of folklore within it, which I think is very cool. Anyway, this is a guy that, he's got a huge beard and rides the bus and kind of a hippie-ish guy or whatever. Not exactly the type of guy that you would think would write a very good military/geopolitical book, but he fucking knocks it out of the park in this book. He really does. This is one it was really hard to put down. So if you are into these kind of things, I highly recommend you read it. So anyway, the book is about, well, it takes place maybe a decade in the future. I forgot exactly how much, but sometime in the near future. The technology looks about the same as what we have now. And in this futuristic world of a decade or so from now, resources in the world have become more scarce. And as a result of that, the United States has gotten a little stabby in the world trying to procure these resources, which has caused us to really butt heads with China, which is on the upsurge and wanting their share of these resources too. It talks about a few proxy wars that have happened between now and then or whatever, but the main one in this book takes place off the coast of Uganda, where there's a massive oil field discovered off the coast. I don't know if that is true or possibly true or whatever, but it doesn't matter. In the book it's true. And the United States intervenes, has involved in some kind of conflict there, and sends a massive naval group and military, or build up in the area. And but China is allies with oh boy, I can't remember who the sides exactly are, but China has their side and we have our side, and China sends support to their guys and we send support to our guys. And long story short, we get our clocks cleaned in this African country. And throughout the whole book, there's a theme of imperial hubris, I suppose you would say, that even though we are getting our asses kicked and nothing's working, our generals, politicians, and even common people kind of keep saying things, well, like as soon as we reestablish air superiority, we'll solve this out, and but we never do. There's a lot of talk about kind of the wasteful spending on some of our weapons programs, namely like the fighter jets and so forth that cost trillions of dollars and don't produce trillions of dollars worth of results. And there's a bit of a belief that the technology in and of itself, and because it's so far advanced than what everybody else is, makes us impervious. whereas it actually sometimes causes weaknesses for us that these countries with more lo-fi tools in their toolkit like are able to surpass. So we just kind of end up wasting a lot of money in the case of this book when we come across a competent enemy, which we do in the Chinese. But man, for a guy that you kind of expect to write books about singing to trees and beating on bongos and stuff out in the woods, he writes a great military book. And I think really kind of captures the mentality that a lot of our politicians and policymakers really do have as far as these endeavors go, that where there's no, in their heads, there's no chance that we can ever overstep our abilities. And I think we have overstepped ourselves in Iraq and Afghanistan right now. I don't know if all of our policymakers see it that way, but definitely in this futuristic scenario that he pulls up or comes up with, yeah, we do. We step right into it, and in the book, I won't spoil it, but it causes some very, very, very profound changes in the United States, which is crumbling at the time in this book due to various other things, ethnic fracture, decline in energy resources, decline in economy, just kind of a general moral decay, whatnot. And it almost sets it up for maybe a second book as far as how the United States would play out going forward. And the way it ends, in a way it's kind of dystopian, but in a way it's also leaves a little glimmer of hope, really, that out of the ashes or whatever, something can come up that, you know, would be better and a little more more meaningful to more people, I suppose. Yeah, man, I highly recommend this book. It was really cool. I only put it down when I absolutely had to. I think it was kind of one of those ones where it maybe took like 24 hours to, like, within 24 hours I had this one read. But yeah, boy, he just like knocks this one out of the park as far as like all these mentalities and so forth. Definitely looking forward to more along this line from Greer. He has become one of my favorite authors, I think, based on this and some of the other stuff I've read, and you know, even like his podcast appearances, and I do check into his blog every now and then. I think it is really cool. So anyway, that's all I've got for now. Definitely check this book out. I really liked it.